Welcome to the 2025 Banana Ball Postseason Preview. I'm Jackson Moore, here with my special guests, Biko Scala and Brett Loftus. How you doing, guys?
Phenomenal, Jackson. Thanks for having us.
If I was doing any better, it'd be a crime, Jackson.
Alrighty, we'll jump right into it. Tell me a little bit about yourselves and what you do in Banana Land.
Yeah, so I am the play-by-play broadcaster for the Savannah Bananas. This is my sixth season, and I get to the pleasure, and it is an absolute pleasure, to get to call all the Savannah Bananas games, except for this coming weekend when I'm going to break my streak of 264 straight Savannah Bananas games. And the other guy we have here on the podcast is calling Savannah Bananas versus Texas Tailgaters in the home of the Houston Astros. It's going to be epic.
I'm Brett Loftus, the voice of the Texas Tailgaters. This is only my first year here in Banana Land. This is the first year of the Tailgaters. So it's been a blessing to get to be a part of this. And Biko's a guy that I've followed for a very long time, and it's now just so much fun to get to work with such a legend. And it's very, very humbling and blessed to get to be the guy who's inserted into a seat this weekend.
Let's start big. Let's start with the World Tour Championship. First year, the inaugural World Tour Championship. How competitive is the sport of banana ball while also being so entertaining for fans?
That's a great question. I mean, it's unbelievably competitive, and I think Brett's tailgaters have hit the ground running in that regard as well. And that goes all the way back to the One City World Tour in Mobile, Alabama, when it was just 4 games between the Bananas and Party Animals, and it was a 2-game split between those two initial squads, and all 4 games were really hard fought battles. So like this is deep in the history of the sport. Those were games 4 through 7 that have ever been played in banana ball history. Now we're north of 300, and it just gets more and more competitive every year. I think you look back at 2023 when the Party Animals were down 8 games with 9 to play, and they won 9 straight. And you see the dog pile in Cooperstown at the end of it, and on the opposite side, the absolute despair and sadness from the Bananas in 2023 when they blew an 8-game lead with 9 to play. Like that's sports, right? So and then that goes all the way through. Last year, the Bananas dominated the season series between the Party Animals and Bananas, but the last game of the year was in Miami, and the Party Animals were able to win the MLB series against the Nanners, and they celebrated like they won the whole tour. So like long-winded way of saying it is as competitive as ever. And now that the firefighters were added last year, the tailgaters this year, it just has become that much more legitimate. And these teams really, really want to win every single night. And you saw that last weekend with Brett's tailgaters splitting a series against the Party Animals and playing spoiler, which makes this upcoming series that much more interesting.
Yeah, I think when you look at the legitimacy of our sport, that's something I get asked all the time. With this being my first year here, and it's always you got the unks on Twitter screaming about how we could be ruining the game of baseball or whatever they want to say, and it's like we're not, because it's as competitive as any other sport in our country, and these guys want to win maybe more than some of the other sports, and I think that is what makes our sport so great. So yeah, I think adding in a playoff, adding in a tour championship, even raises the stakes from what we've had in years past.
It's stepped up in competitiveness. It's always been competitive, but with the Tour Championship, it's just going to heighten. Um, what are your guys' predictions for the Tour Championship?
Ooh, that is a heck of a question. I mean, if I'm going chalk, that we still don't know if the Bananas or Party Animals are going to be the 1 seed. That's going to be decided this coming weekend. If the Tailgaters can win just one of these 2 games in Houston, then the Party Animals are the 1 seed, and they play the Firefighters, who are locked into the 4 seed. Tailgaters are locked into the 3 seed. So we still don't know what the bracket is going to look like in the semifinals. Um, I'm kind of feeling chaotic. Like I just wouldn't be shocked at all if we had a firefighters tailgaters championship, and I think it would be epic for the sport. If I had to put money on it and it was like even odds, I would pick the Bananas and Party Animals. You just look at the records; like they are the veteran-filled squads. They have been really impressive this year. They have, for the most part, taken care of business, and obviously either of those squads is going to be the betting favorite. I would say the Party Animals are, especially if they can lock down that home field advantage throughout the Tour Championship. But these are 2 games, and if you split the 2-game series, you go straight into showdowns. And the Tailgaters, have been fantastic in showdowns. The Firefighters have a winning record against the Bananas in showdowns. So like it really could it's anyone's game. And I would love to see at least one of the Firefighters and Tailgaters in that championship.
Yeah, I would hate to have to make that prediction. I'm
Yeah.
kind of with Biko now. I mean, when you look at it this year, the Party Animals finished 14-5 against the Tailgaters. Going into this weekend, the Bananas are 3-1 against the Tailgaters. So if you take chalk, and then obviously, the Bananas have dominated the season series against the Firefighters, and the Tailgaters and the Firefighters split their season series at 2-2 this year. So I think there's clearly a margin there just on paper between the Party Animals, Bananas, and then between the Tailgaters and the Firefighters. However, banana ball is still banana ball. And Biko says it all the time. It's still, you got to go out there and play baseball at the end of the day, and anything can happen when you get the postseason. So I do like the Tailgaters' chances if they can make it to showdowns in the semifinals there. But yeah, it'd be hard pressed not to just take the chalk prediction for the tour championship, Bananas Firefighters, or Bananas Party Animals, excuse me, right now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with what I believe will be the one seed, which is the Party Animals. And I think the Tailgaters 9-22 record does not do them justice. They've been incredible in showdowns. They have a lot of experience in showdowns. Um, they've had maybe six or seven, six or seven showdowns just against the animals. Um, I mean, just for viewership numbers, I think I'm gonna go with the Animals and Tailgaters in the championship.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, that's Banana Ball's newest rivalry. As much as they played this year and as competitive as those games are, we were 4-2 in showdowns this year against the Animals, 0-1 against the Bananas. So, like you said, 6 times we played the Animals in showdowns, and once lost to the Bananas in showdowns. So 4-3 overall. I don't hate that, Jackson. I quite love that. I love that prediction.
And the Gators did get a 2-game sweep of the Party Animals this year on the
Very true.
Party
Baton
Animals
Rouge.
College Tour. So it's like it's
Yep.
possible to just avoid showdowns. CD gets hot. You get a lead to John Reed 2 games, and he's dialed. Like anything could happen once we get to this tour championship.
Especially if the Tailgaters get on a hot run and uh maybe sweep the Bananas. Who knows?
Right?
In this last season series. Um, yeah, a lot of the postseason is a lot different than the regular season. It's not about who's the best, it's about who's hot, and Tailgaters could definitely do something.
No doubt.
Let's talk about trick plays for a minute. I mean, just a whole nother scale in 2025.
Yeah.
Um, 1,694 this year as an organization. Insane.
Yeah, it just levels up every single year. And I've obviously had the pleasure of seeing this thing since game one. So it's like, it's mind boggling to go. You look back at even the 2023 box scores when we did our first full world tour, there are tons of games where it's like Bananas 2 trick plays, Party Animals 1. And now we're averaging over 16 trick plays a ball game. So it's, and there might be a little competitive advantage to trick plays in the postseason. We don't know, but there's talks going on behind the scenes. That's all I can say right now. But it's definitely something that I think we will see come the Banana Ball Championship League next year for sure. So, the players who are executing the trick plays at such a high level, they should gain a little extra value as well. We'll see if there's a curveball thrown in the trick play world in the Tour Championship. That is TBD.
Jackson, to your point about trick plays, one of my favorite stats and shared on the broadcast, I was doing my prep this morning. When you talk about just the elite of the elite at trick plays, Ryan Cox has 59 trick plays since August 1st. Jordan Hussein, who we know is just wonderful, right? He's one of the best shortstops in our sport, one of the best defenders flat out in our sport. His 47 trick plays the entire year. So when you look at the evolution of that, and obviously Ryan Cox is the trick play master. He's a Mount Rushmore banana ball player. That's what fired me up because I've even looked at the numbers since the last 2 months for the tailgaters and how much they've continued to change their game and add on to more and more trick plays. So I think with these potentially impending rules moving forward, I think that's going to raise the stakes even more there.
Let's talk about the World Tour draft. Um, a lot of new cities, I'm sure. Two new teams. It's going to be insane. It is honestly the most excited I've ever been for any event in my life.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. I'm thrilled to do it again. I still don't know just about anything, so I would love to start learning some things because myself, Brett, and all of our broadcasters will be hosting this event. So that would be good to get some info as we're carry the one like 3 weeks out from that. But I mean, it's gonna be such a thrill. Every level, just like with trick plays, just like with the sport in general, it takes an insane leap. And schedule wise, you go from 33 cities in 2023, all minor league or college parks. And then in 2024, all of a sudden, 6 Major League Baseball stadiums. And it's like, whoa, what the heck? And then this past year, it's 17 Major League Baseball stadiums and 4 football stadiums. So, like, as Michael Jordan has been known to say, the ceiling is the roof. I think there's going to be some insane announcements on October 9th, and I can't wait to host the dang thing. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I got to watch the one from last year, so I'm fired up to get to be a part of it, and got to watch the tailgaters get unveiled last year, and that was something at that point in time I didn't even know I would be attached to the sport or that brand itself. So I'm just fired up to see the two new brands that are going to get rolled out, and like you said, where the
Woo!
tailgaters go, but also where the banana ball goes next year.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to get to touch some people and get to touch some places in this country that we haven't quite been able to get to yet, and I'm fired up for that.
The all-star rosters are starting to be assembled,
Yeah.
and and the pitchers and catchers are just out. We got Andy Cosgrove and Bill Leroy. I love that. And got a plethora of pitchers already out. How crazy is it going to be on college campuses, not only on college campuses, but playing college teams in Clemson and Auburn?
Yeah, the Clemson Banana Ball All-Star game last year is truly one of my favorite Banana Ball games of all time. Those kids all really bought in. I mean, it's one of the best programs in the country. Adding Auburn in this year is going to be fantastic as well. So you got October 23rd, Clemson, October 25th, Auburn. And it's just fascinating to see these professional athletes competing against these really, really high caliber college athletes and seeing both sides, especially the college kids, pick the brains of the pros. And especially, all these guys have dreams of affiliated ball and hopefully Major League Baseball. But banana ball is more and more enticing every single year as the sport gets bigger, more popular, and as the paychecks for players continue to get better. So that was like a really cool thing is talking to the players, talking to the Clemson guys last year. Is like the big eye popping thing was like, oh, how much do you make? And they explain, like, oh, you can really make a career and make a living out of this. And the guys are like, holy crap. Because, before Banana Ball existed, it was indie ball where you get paid terribly, or affiliated ball, where unless you're the creme de la creme, the top 5% of minor league ball players, you're also getting paid terribly. So yeah, it's really fun to see those worlds collide. And we had a fantastic trick play in left field from Clemson last year. I can't wait to see what the college boys can break out in that regard as well.
Yeah, the thing that fired me up from last year was Jaron Purify, who ended up being an all ACC shortstop this
Yeah.
last year at Clemson. I actually had the pleasure to call some Clemson games before I started in Banana Ball in April. And I mean, just an electric leadoff hitter on a team that makes a regional, that made a deep run in an ACC tournament. But last year at the All Star game, he goes up to Jesse Cole and wants Clemson to do a 6-2-2. Like, that's like, we're talking about a guy who's an all ACC shortstop who's going to play affiliated ball, maybe Major League Baseball, but that's also a guy that then you want to tout as a future banana baller because he is an elite defender. He was a 300 plus hitter this year at Clemson, but he also knows how to entertain, which we do better than any other professional sports league.
Right.
So, or next year will be a league, currently a tour. But that guy right there is a guy that I think can, like Biko said, when we get to go and go to these college campuses to find those future banana ballers potentially, that's the stuff that fires me up for these all-star games. And the fact that the teams that are getting assembled, The Banana Ball All Stars, they look pretty good, as you noted there, especially all those arms that we're going to have on those rosters.
Yeah, and Purify had stardom from a young age playing in the Liberal Series. I think he really knows what it's like to have fun on a baseball field and not just do it as a job.
Yeah, that's a fact. And he can dance and he can backflip. So obviously, I hope he makes it to the bigs and has a couple decades in Major League Baseball. But if he doesn't, I'm certain there's a home for him in Banana Ball.
A lot of people don't realize that with the league ERA average being at 5.44, it's in the MLB, you're thinking, oh, for a starting pitcher, not too good. But in Banana Ball, where offense rules the league, it guys like Drew Gillespie that have a 2 or 3 ERA are doing amazing in the sport.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And I mean, a perfect time to bring in our guy Zach Staten, who's fresh off of taking care of his dog, because we've got two firefighters pitchers that have been announced as Banana Ball All Stars, and
Yep.
one of them in Ben Dum, I'm pretty sure right now has a 1.69 ERA. So Staten's the best guy to talk about how cool it is to see a guy like Ben Dum and Bradford Webb excel so much in their second Banana Ball seasons.
Yeah, it's quite awesome when you look at the way that Ben has played all year. He's just been super consistent. They put him in very tough situations, especially with the firefighters record this year. It hasn't been the best it could be. So when you put a guy like Ben Dunn in there, you are looking for a guy that can close out one of those games, that can step up in a big time situation where you know everybody is putting their hopes on him. And he steps up in really, really clutch moments. I mean, if he can't close it out in the ninth inning, then you put him out there in showdowns and he's a guy that can go field it. But he's gotten out of jams. There have been, I can't count how many times that maybe the leadoff guy's gotten on to second, and Ben just finds a way to induce outs and get out of the frame without giving up a run or a point. And then you look at a guy like Bradford Webb, didn't start the year with his best stuff, but if you look at him over the last month and a half, he just doesn't shy away from getting big outs. And he's a guy that shows that if you turn it on at the right time, like Biko just said, he's an all-star because the last 2 months he's darn near been unhittable. And we have a third guy in Johnny Hummel who he's gotten us out of two really, really huge situations and showdowns, one at Yankee Stadium, another in our first and only weekend this year at Grayson Stadium. Got us out of two huge showdown situations where at Grayson Stadium he shut down both innings and was able to help us get a win there. So you look at those top three pitchers and you just find they don't put themselves in bad situations. And on the rare case that they do, they find ways to get outs. And I think that just shows the competitiveness of Banana Ball that you have pitchers that even when they're put in bad situations, and look, if you're the visiting pitcher and you put a runner on second with nobody out, that is a really tough spot to be in, given that a ball four sprint there is essentially just going to end the inning. Um, so when you look at the top three guys there, they're three guys you want to have on anybody's staff. I would say firefighter to bananas. If you have guys like Ben Dum, Johnny Hummel, and Bradford Webb on your staff, you're gonna bet those guys are gonna win you games. And so I think that just goes to show those guys are three examples of how competitive Banana Ball continues to be. I'm not even looking at, a Danny Hosley or a Drew Gillespie or a Dalton Ponce or a Noah Nisnik, Christian Davis. Like these are guys that they just don't get hit very often. When they do, they find ways to get outs.
Yeah, that firefighters pitching staff is elite. You're talking about the ball four sprints. Ben Dum, 21 appearances, only four ball four sprints given up. That is elite, and that'll get you a lot of places in Banana Ball.
He's absolutely nails when you put him in there. Last night when they announced he was the one of our all-stars from the firefighters, I just commented the closer that every time he comes on the mound, you just have confidence. Not to say that you wouldn't have confidence in everybody you put on the mound, but when Ben Dumb's out there, there's just it almost feels like it's inevitable that you're gonna have another chance. Like if you're trailing in the eighth inning and you put Ben out there, you just have a feeling of we're gonna be all right. We're gonna get another crack at this in the ninth inning. And so yeah, I mean, when you say it, that little of ball four sprints in 21 appearances, it still doesn't seem real because you think you'd run into like 10. He doesn't even get into double digits in 21 appearances. It's incredible how good Ben's been this year.
Yeah, and that brings us into our next topic, awards. The pitcher of the year. Who's your pick?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. You guys are you guys settled right now? I mean, I've got like five pitchers I'm juggling.
Well, I mean, who do you
Yeah,
have? Oh, yeah.
I got four guys in my mind it's clear cut for me. Five guys, well, yeah, probably say five guys that Pico has. I mean, Ben Dunn, as Zach just waxed poetically about
Hmm.
him. Christian Davis, what he's done as a rookie. I mean, he's been statistically as good as any starting pitcher in the league since the Tailgaters and Firefighters started in late May. Obviously, the two big dogs with the Bananas and Noah Nisnik, he's been wonderful in his sophomore campaign. And Danny Hosley. I mean, Danny Hosley is as good as any pitcher. Has not given up a run in the last month and a half. But then you got that guy, the bad man from Albuquerque, Drew Gillespie, who we talk about single digit ball four sprints. Well, he's only got 9 ball four sprints in 50 plus innings this year. So I think between those five guys, I don't foresee another pitcher being picked. But I I would not want to be the guy who would pick that award out of those five.
No, it just like we talked about the level of competitive pitching here, and we're not even mentioning some of the starters for the party animals. I mean, when you look at a guy like Brett Helton, he's a guy that just consistently gets outs too, and we haven't even mentioned him yet. So it just shows how deep the position is.
Yeah. If I had to choose, gun to my head, I would say Drew Gillespie right now. But I mean these guys talked it through really well. It's so hard to pitch in banana ball, and this is the best we have seen as far as the top tier of pitchers across our young sports history. It's probably the Gillespie, Dumb, Hosley, Nisnik, or I CD was right there, and then it's just one blow up outing, and that's what's so tough about this era of banana ball is you've got the firefighters and tailgaters playing 33 games, you have the party animals playing 69, you have the bananas playing 72. It's just so hard. You got a guy like Ben Dunn who double his innings, and he is a tier of his own, and he's at 26 and two-third innings, whereas Gillespie's nearly at 50. So it's very hard to compare these guys. I would probably pick Drew Gillespie right now, but I think there's a lot of ways you could go with it, honestly.
And truth be told, like this just shows too how much different banana ball is than regular baseball. Because in what world would a Cy Young ever be a closer? But we've got
Right.
three of them talking about pitcher of the year. That just shows how every role in a pitching rotation of banana ball is going to count because you just don't know where that one guy who can just get you through innings is going to come from until they go out and prove it.
That's right. It's with every run counting as a point in the ninth inning, it just puts that much level of importance on your closer. In 2023, Danny Hosley was no doubt the best pitcher in banana ball. Last year, Drew Gillespie was no doubt the best pitcher in banana ball. This is the most parity that we have had at the top echelon of pitching so far. But it's still the closers who you zoom in on, and then we'll see what Noah Nisnik can do this coming weekend. If he can get 3 and 2/3 innings, he'll be the only guy to 100 innings on the tour, and he's right around that 4 ERA 4.02 right now. It's as compelling an argument as we've ever had for a starting pitcher so far. So it's a very fun debate.
Yeah, I'd honestly go the same as Biko. I'd say Drew Gillespie. He's just done incredible in the amount of innings he's had too. I would say Ben Dom is a close second. I'd say he honestly makes a really good run for first if he has the same amount or a little bit less games than Drew Gillespie. But the sample size is small for Ben Dom, but he's done amazing.
I would be probably biased and go Ben, but if you told me Drew Gillespie, there's not much of an argument here. If you told me Danny Hosley, I don't think there's much of an argument because I've seen him up close and personal for the last month and a half. Like he just doesn't allow people to hit him. Like the only time I've really seen the firefighters tag him was in New York in showdowns, and that was one hit. That's all they could really muster against Danny Hosley. So when you look at those three, man, it's so loaded up there. But Drew's been unbelievable. Ben's been absolutely fantastic, and Danny's been unhittable. It's when you look at the positions, catcher and pitcher, just how dominant and loaded those two positions are, man. It's incredible.
Now we're gonna move on to An award I created, the best baby race.
Oh gosh, the best baby race.
Huh.
They're all pretty epic. I don't know if one 100% stands out to me. Brett, you got something?
I'm biased toward Frisco, where we do the world's slowest race. Child wins with the legend shirt on. The very next half inning promo, we then do butt scooting boogie, where the fathers are now racing to their children. Same dad wins the race. So, I mean, again, two best, best race, but races maybe is a little plural there, but that was, and I mean, again, I might maybe biased. I was on the call for that one, but that was my favorite one of the year, where the child and the father swept in back-to-back half-inning promos.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got to go with night one in Baltimore.
Mm, night one in Baltimore. Gosh, I wonder if that's the one. I posted one that I had the call on. Usually we give it to Jesse. I don't remember why I was calling it, but I had it. And it's like one of the best videos I've
Oh,
ever had on Instagram. I think it might have been right around then, but there was a lot going on. A kid was like wobbling around. Yeah, the baby
But
races are one of my favorites, and it's my dad's favorite promotion all time in Banana Land. So it's got a special place in my heart there too.
yeah,
Yeah,
one kid.
I'm trying to pull it up right now because I think the firefighters blew a 4-0 lead in that inning, so I wasn't really in the mood to watch the baby race. So I'm gonna pull this up right now and see. But yeah, you got one kid just moving here, but he's moving towards the foul line. Okay, all right, yeah, he might be right. This is unbelievable. Oh, we got a head start in front of everybody. Oh, this is incredible. Yeah, Baltimore night one might be the pick.
Oh, Nats Park. Nats Park was an incredible one. That's where I've got a kid standing, someone doing like a little butt shuffle. We got a crawler. It's a good menagerie of options as far as how you can try and win or completely lose the world's slowest race.
can't forget the one. I forget where we were at earlier this year. Party Animals headliner, where the child took his first steps in the baby race, which again disqualified him. But I mean, that was a special one within itself too. So
That's got like over 5 million views on Drake's
yeah,
Instagram. So
yeah,
the world would say that.
yeah.
Yeah, that was an elite call by Drake. This is illegal in the sport. On to Rookie of the Year.
Oh, wow. That's another really tough one. Right now, I would give it to Andy Cosgrove. I think it's a two-man race between Cosgrove and Kyle Jackson, and both have really fantastic arguments. I'm not super up to date on the numbers. I mean, obviously, KJ is leading the tour in on base percentage, somewhere around 470, which is absolutely absurd. Cosgrove, I think, might have about 100 more plate appearances, which shows that he's been able to do it over a larger sample size. Also helps all of his counting numbers. If you're looking at slash lines, it's KJ. I think when you dig deeper and you think about how amazing Cosgrove has been defensively at the most important position in the sport, in the field, I think that's what gives Cosgrove the slight edge over Kyle Jackson for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same place there. I would vote Andy Cosgrove as my rookie of the year. Plays a premier position, the premier position. You got his average back north of 340 this past weekend.
Mm.
Powerful catcher, and in my opinion, he's the best defensive catcher probably in our sport. I think you can make an argument. Tosh Porter's really really solid back there. Joe Lytle's solid back there, and obviously when you look at just the depth of the that catcher position has in our sport right now. And for Andy to clearly stand out as a rookie, as a top two catcher in our sport, if not the best, some may would argue. I mean, KJ's had a heck of a year too. He can play every single position on the diamond. Like Biko said, leads the tour in on base percentage, has two pumps, 70 plus trick plays this year. Like, that's not to diminish anything KJ has done. It's just Andy Cosgrove has been an elite catcher in year one in banana ball, which is tough to do in any form of baseball or banana ball. And he's come in here and done that as a rookie.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think both over the last month have sort of hit a couple of speed bumps here where I think their last months maybe haven't been what we've been used to seeing. But I agree with these guys. I think Andy Cosgrove, when you just look at the impact he's made from the catcher position, Like he's on the same team as Jake Skull, and he might be just as dangerous as Jake. And we're probably gonna talk about him as MVP for a while now with Jake. So I think when you have a guy like Andy Cosgrove that comes in immediately and puts up those numbers, it's just tough to not choose him, especially like Brett said, it's the most important defensive position you've got, and he's pretty nails back there. Now, third base is a tough position too at the hot corner, and KJ's been pretty good there, but I think I'd lean Andy Cosgrove as well.
Yeah, I got Cosgrove as well. You look at the MLB, and most catchers are in the 6 through 9 spot. Cosgrove has consistently been 4 through 7, pretty much the entire year, I'm pretty sure. Uh, just insane what he's been able to do, uh, both offensively and defensively. Let's move on to the MVP.
Hmm.
I mean, who wants to say it? I mean, we all know who it's going to be. I mean, come on. It's the guy that going into this weekend now. Now, this could change if DR has a heck of a weekend, but going into this weekend, currently has the triple crown. I mean, it's Jake Skull. I mean,
Yeah.
it should be, I don't know if these votes are going to be hidden or not hidden or whatever, but if it was where the voting was clearly out there, he should be unanimous. I mean, it's been an unreal year, and the dude's hitting like 190 over the last month and it still doesn't matter. Like talking about hitting the speed bump, Skull will be the first guy to tell you, yeah, I've had not had the month up to par, but I mean it doesn't matter because he's had that good of a year. So yeah, I think unless Biko and Zach want to wax poetically more about Jake Skull, for me, there's not a further conversation to be had. DR's had a great year, tour MVP last year. Rick Celestiadis has been special. Jason Swan, man, I don't think we talk enough about him. If you talk about the most underrated player in our sport, it'd be Swanee, and I think he would be able to garner maybe some top 5 MVP votes. But it's Jake Skull.
Yep, it's Jake Skull for me as well. It'll be interesting if DR goes like 7 for 7 in Houston and he takes over the batting average title. I will listen to DR Meadows' conversations, because he's in a tier of his own trick plays wise, and he also is bringing the stolen bases to the table. Um, but it's Jake Skull right now. Triple Crown. He's doing enough trick play wise to bring some banana ball elements into his fifth banana ball world tour. And it's so hard to argue against those offensive numbers. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, DR Meadows, I think, is a brilliant center fielder. He is an excellent leadoff hitter, a guy who just constantly finds ways to get on base. He is as impactful a player as you can find, but what argument is there that he can really chew into Jake Skull's case? I mean, Jake's just from the start of the year to now, he has been the guy on the team that's been around first place for basically since everybody else joined with the tailgaters and the firefighters. Um, Jake Skull sets the pace for one of the best teams in banana ball, and yeah, I think DR Meadows should be up there. I agree with Brett. Jason Swan is a guy who is unsung and really impactful. Reese Alexiadis is a guy I would have thought about his last months. I think been pretty decent, probably better than Jake's, but the whole package, it's Jake Skull.
Talking about DR Meadows, I'm pretty sure doubled his trick plays in the year of 2025, with 128. Insane year for DR Meadows defensively and also offensively, being that
You,
leadoff guy for the Bananas.
again, I've seen these guys for the last month or so. There are not two more annoying defenders in banana ball to face than DR Meadows and Ryan Cox. Because if you hit it to them, they're just going to come away with the banana ball. They find ways to make it tricky and they find ways to make it fun. But if you hit it to center field or shortstop, there's nobody you want to face less than those guys because they're not going to let the ball drop unless it's a miscommunication on a tip drill, and that's once in a blue moon. So yeah, DR Meadows in terms of defense, I don't think there's much to discuss here in the MVP race, but just Jake's unbelievable when he gets onto the plate there.
Even with the DR Meadows case, I'm still going with Skull. Ryan Cox also puts up a good case, but I think Skull is just, I mean, the executioner, as I call him. He's just been insane. Obviously, like you said, the Triple Crown hitting 371 with 15 bombs. Um, which translates if he played in 162 games like an MLB season, he'd have hit 38 bombs. Random thought here, Stilts, he is a 160 average. Michael Conforto for the what team is he on now?
Is he on the
I wrote it
Giants?
down. What?
Is he on the
Huge guy.
Giants?
I
Yep.
think maybe. Let me see. I wrote it down somewhere.
Michael Conforto is a Los Angeles Dodger.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, that's right. But just insane that obviously totally different skill sets in the MLB and banana ball, but still hitting 160 and Conforto hitting 183. That's just hilarious.
It's a riot.
And I think my early season, maybe for the first 20 games, I thought the MVP was going to be Rack. The way he started the season, amazing what he was doing. Um, he's still done amazing throughout the season. Obviously, a lot of ups and downs with the fractured wrist, the failed rack flip, but he still has what 40 some of those uh, in the year. Insane.
He was the MVP through 20 games. If you're talking about Banana Ball, all around Banana Ball MVP, the reason why DR won it last year is the offense combined with the defense. Rack was the tour MVP through 20 games. So yeah, you're not wrong about that at all. And like he's a swing for the fences kind of guy. He admires Joey Gallo quite possibly more than any other Major League Baseball player. So like he's gonna be streaky. But when he starts smashing balls consistently, which is how he started the year, and he found a few
Yeah.
more hot streaks like that throughout the year, he's just about as entertaining as anybody, not just with the rack flips, but at the dish as well.
Yeah, 100%. I got a couple personal questions for you guys. Um, what's the toughest part about keeping a low ERA as a pitcher in this league when offense, like I said, rules?
I think it's all about keeping your ball four sprints in check, personally. You look at a guy like Drew Gillespie, who has the second lowest ERA on the tour, only behind Ben Dunn, and we're quabbling on where we want our innings limit to be for like an ERA title, and we're thinking around 30, which Dumb is at 26 and 2/3. So it's really unfortunate that a guy like Ben Dumb maybe won't be in that contention, but that's a story for another day. Um, but you look at him, it's the sprints are low. You look at Danny Hosley, he's got a 5.8 sprint percentage compared to I think over 28% strikeout percentage, which is ridiculous. It's all about controlling your controllables. And if guys are in scoring position, you have to let them beat you with the bats. You cannot gift sprints and gift runs like that. You just have to find pitches in the zone that can hopefully induce soft contact.
Yeah, and to Biko's point, just this past weekend in Seattle, Austin Temple in the third inning gets two quick outs. There's a trick play missed. Lets a guy get on first. His next at bat delivers a 4-0 ball four sprint. Now there's runners on first and third. We don't get the third out. It's a tight play, just a little bit off first base with the throw to try to get the third out. That's how the Bananas win the inning. Again, a little bit of a different situation, but if you give up a ball four sprint and put a guy in scoring position, you all of a sudden now are putting your back up against the wall, especially with two outs and the speed of a lot of these runners. Ball four sprints from that point forward, you give a ball four sprint, it's a 0-0 inning. That's the inning if you're the visiting team. So yeah, it's the ball four sprints because you're just allowing speedy guys to get on the base pads for free.
Yeah,
I think
this was
probably
supposed to be a question for Drake, but how many white Nissan Maximas with Arkansas plates have been hit this year?
a lot. I'll speak for him. I was in the booth during a lot of those. Yeah, he probably over under 37 and a half, probably. He actually the cold open that we did when we went to Arkansas was actually Drake's car. So that thing is Drake would tell you if he were here is not in the best condition itself. It looks like it's seen a couple of those yellow banana balls. So yeah, there's been a few of them hit this year. So there's a few of them hitting Texas too. So that's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know what the Vegas odds are on that, but I'm going over on the 37 and a half.
Yeah, smashing the over on that one, Jackson. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
What are some of your hobbies outside of banana ball?
Oh. We don't have a ton of time outside of banana ball. I play a lot of tennis though when I can. I try and get on the tennis courts two times a week if possible.
Um,
Uh, Zach, you big hobbies guy?
I just bought a house, so if I'm not working, it's
Good
literally just
hobby.
putting all of my stuff into my house. So right now, like we literally just bought a saw. I'm gonna try to build us like nightstands over the next couple of days. So we'll see how that goes. So hopefully woodworking is my hobby after we get through the next couple of days. Um, I mean, I really like going out and just kind of like getting a nice quiet walk with my dog. Um, really like mowing my lawn. Like that's 2 hours where I just know with no strings attached, I'm just by myself for 2 hours. Like I can just go out there, put my AirPods in, and just do whatever I need to do. So yeah, I feel like I think I'm the oldest out of the group here so far, and I'm sounding like it right now. But yeah, I would say housework and mowing my lawn.
I'm a
It's
big
a,
mow the lawn guy too, by the way.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
There's just
I
something that just you de-stress so much from seeing grass go from one level to a much shorter level.
very satisfying.
Yep.
There's a couple fatherly answers. I cut enough grass for a lifetime as a teenager, so I'm good.
See,
I'm
my
good.
dad
I'm
never
good.
would let me. I get it from him. He was just like, it's my yard. I'm gonna mow this thing. So
Yeah,
been waiting for 20 years to do it.
my mom ran her own beauty shop, so I was the one that was touted as cutting the grass with a push mower my entire childhood and into my teenage years. My hobbies. I don't get to do it a lot, but I really enjoy cutting on the old PS5 and playing other sports games. Been playing a lot of college football recently. You know, Zaxxon, as crazy as it is, the fact that we work in sports, sports can always be a decompressant too. So,
Yeah.
love watching NFL football on Sundays. Still enjoy watching my Atlanta Braves, as bad as they've been this year. Georgia Bulldogs, they've been good for me too. So I'm a big sports guy. And then yeah, I mean, we work with not only the guys on this call, but our staff as a whole. We whenever we're on the road and you get to spend quality time with your friends that naturally are built in here as fellow staff members away from the job. I think that's something I really enjoy too. So just getting to have that personal time and getting to spend time with people you really care about. So rather basic answers from probably all three of us because truthfully, Jackson, this is our life. To be here in Banana Ball and Banana Land, this is our. It has to be a hobby as much as we do, and we have to love it. So
Well, Brett actually kind of already answered this, but who's your guys' favorite MLB team?
Uh,
Yankees.
yeah, I'm with Biko. I'm a Yankees guy.
How
go
was it?
Braves.
How was Yankee Stadium, man?
One of the
Biko.
coolest, if not the coolest weekend of my life. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I'd been up there one time as a graduation present from my wife. Um, yeah, being up there, getting to walk out of the dugout onto Yankee Stadium's field and dirt, it was just yeah, there's nothing like it.
Vico, where is my dad's royalty money for all the suggestions he's been giving you?
Oh, good question. Ideas are everything in Banana Land, and Jesse Cole would tell you that we love getting ideas and we love using them. So yeah, I'm sure there's some royalty checks coming maybe in the next decade or two. But yeah, rack flip, all timer. Cruise missile, great one as well.
Who's your guys' favorite player or just staff member to hang out with?
DR Meadows is my favorite player to watch because I think if I reached the absolute capacity of my athletic abilities, he's peak Biko Scala. So like it's the same reason why I loved watching Dustin Pedroia when I was a kid. As much as I was a diehard Yankee fan, I could not hide my love for a little guy like that, hitting the tar out of the baseball, earning himself an MVP. DR has nowhere near the pop of Pedroia. I have nowhere near the pop of DR Meadows. But a guy that can range center field like that, D2 guy, just it's something. It's like Dan Oberst. I have a similar love for as well. You get these D2 guys who have been in the sport for as many years. This is DR's third tour. This is Dan's fourth tour, and they continue to rise with the level of competition. Like the talent in Banana Ball has gotten so much better every single year. And you see guys like DR and Dan Oberst hanging with it and getting better as the talent gets better as well. As a couple D2 Warriors, those are my kind of ball players.
I am obviously I love all the guys on our clubhouse, so I'd be well dismissed to just pick one of them out. But Travis Monroe and I find ourselves having a lot of deep, insightful conversations. Brett Helton's a guy I love to pick his brain. He's been around here for a while, and a guy that has a lot of experience in affiliated ball in here, and he understands what we're doing here. Noah Fisher is a guy I love to chop it up with. Bananas, probably similar answers. DR is a guy I've gotten really close with when we get to be on the road with him. Dan Oberst, man, I can talk to Dan for 3 hours, and Ryan Cox too, just because like Biko said, he's a guy that's a grinder to get here, having the best offensive year he's ever had in banana ball, and he's the godfather of trick plays. He's on Mount Rushmore, and then for the firefighters, I love DMAC, man. Biko using the example of if you were to maximize your abilities and make it a banana ball, that I would have been DMAC. So, and DMAC and I also, we go at it when we're debating baseball. So I love to be on a bus with him, just getting to talk shop, not about banana ball, but just Major League Baseball. We had like a 2 hour debate one time on a bus who the greatest Major League Baseball player was. And it was the greatest thing ever. People thought we were legit mad at each other. We were just passionately debating Ken Griffey Jr. versus Barry Bonds. And it's just, I mean, you could pick out individual guys as Biko and I have, but I mean, each and every single one of the individuals that play on these teams are just such a joy to be around all of
Yeah, I was on that bus ride hearing this argument. I
them.
mean,
Yeah.
I could tell they weren't mad. I could tell it was just a passionate sports debate. But Brett, were you Ken Griffey or were you Barry
Yeah, I was
Bonds?
Ken Griffey Jr. He missed
Okay.
like 4 full seasons over a 5 year stretch and still hit 630 home runs with never using steroids in his life. So I will die on that hill that Ken Griffey Jr. is the greatest Major League Baseball player of all time.
I love it.
Yeah, because you would have loved this argument just sitting there. Josh Talevsky would have gotten in on this. It would have been incredible. For me, I just adore being around Dalton Cornette.
Mm.
Like number one, his accent is just so inviting. You just want to be friends with him. And then the dude he's in some ways kind of like a Renaissance man. Like he speaks Spanish. He designs his own clothes. He's an absolute unit when he goes up to the plate. Like he's just this is a dude who just he's from Pippa Passes of 27 people and like is out here just in big league parks just losing his mind, and he's so calm and so nice and so friendly. But I adore being around Dalton Cornette, and like Brett, I love all of our guys. I have a special place in my heart for the dudes that have a link to the Commonwealth of Virginia like me. So South Trumbull, Bradford Webb, Ben Dumb played at VCU. I have a real fondness for them just because I know where they've been. They know where I've been. But um, yeah, Dalton Cornette, and then Ty Jackson. Just
Oh,
Ty
stat.
Yeah.
Jackson. Ty too.
Mookie.
Like he's an all-star personality in banana ball.
You talk about Dalton Cornette. I've had the pleasure of getting to talk to every guy who's been an everyday banana ball player and gotten their life stories. And nearly everyone has had me laughing and it's been an absolute blast. And it's one of my favorite parts of the job. Nobody has had me more gobsmacked than Dalton Cornette. I'll never forget it. Before the 2022 World Tour, we were sitting behind the first base dugout in the seats with my little laptop in Grayson Stadium. And that dude spun the craziest story after the craziest story I've ever heard in my entire life. Like my cheeks hurt from smiling. It was one of those at the end of it. Yeah, growing up in Pippa Passes to being in a dorm room for 4 years, 15 feet from his childhood home to never eating a green vegetable in his entire life, his Puerto Rico adventures. He's fluent in Spanish. He already had his own bat company and glove company going into 2022. Yeah, he is a mythical being, and we are all honored to get to share Banana Land with him.
In some ways, he feels like Banana Ball's Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He really does, man. It's just there's stories that you just don't expect out of him. So yeah, and that's not an insult. I love DC. So um, also
Yeah.
Johnny Herman, got to mention him because you just don't know what you're getting with that guy on a daily basis, but he's so funny.
I was gonna say he might be my favorite pitcher to watch. Like I answered the question, like who are the guys who I like watching the most? And I love everybody in Banana Land. But Johnny Hummel is like no doubt top three. I get like just immense joy watching him pitch. I love his weird stepping onto the rubber thing. His three pitch mix is disgusting. The car stuff is hilarious. and he's a great human being. So yeah, Hummel's he's flying. His stock is rising in Biko's world.
Also, if you want a duo to hang around, Ron Franklin, Javon Ray. Get them
So
two
good,
around each other. It's just you won't stop laughing.
magical.
Ron's my barber, Jackson. There's your Easter egg. Ron Franklin is my barber. And as you can tell, I hadn't got to see him in a few weeks here
I was
because we've
about to
been
say,
on
he
opposite
told me he's
traveling
going to fade me
schedules.
up a couple different times, and we haven't
Uh,
gotten to it yet. So I'm going
yeah,
to hold on to that.
big fan of Ron.
Yeah, Hot Boy Ron, awesome
Hot boy
guy.
Ron.
Uh, what was that catch he made in forgot what city it
Baltimore.
was in. Yeah,
It was in
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yeah, number 2 on Sports Center.
Yep.
Yeah, insane backflip catch. Grabbed it with one hand.
Yep. Yeah, he had both
Insanity.
those in Baltimore, the diving catch and the backflip
Yep.
catch that he like trapped against his stomach.
And then
That's
this
great.
weekend, he's got the catch where he's got to do a flip afterwards because it's so low. And then he's got the catch where he runs into the wall,
Yep.
turns and flips it to Noah Bridges, who then hits a relay throw, who then throws Ty Jackson out of the plate. Just incredible instincts from Ron there.
Human highlight reel.
Yeah, going back to the guy you like to hang around, the Pride of Fest Kentucky sounds amazing. A
All timer. He's an all timer.
little bit of a controversial question here. Are aliens real?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah. Reese Alexiadis exists. All the proof you need.
What's your favorite stadium food?
Big chicken tenders guy. I like nachos too, but I don't want like the fake nachos. I want it with all the works, like big batting helmet, guacamole, sour cream. I need everything.
2 words,
Oh,
Dippin' Dots.
yeah. Yeah. It's probably the last one I got for you, Jackson. I got to run, but I would say, wow, that's a tough one. Dippin' Dots is up there for me. I love a good cheeseburger. You know what? I went to a couple different ballparks. You get those loaded nachos with like the brisket and all that stuff on
There it
there. And like
is.
Pico said,
There it
like
is.
not the like processed cheese. Get a little queso on that jobber.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, that's the one for me. That's the one for me right there. But Jackson, so sorry, gotta go. But I do appreciate you for having me on, my friend.
See, man, thanks.
Yes,
I
sir.
think Brett likes a glizzy too.
I know. No, I try and stay away from them when possible. I heard they take 8 minutes off your life every time you eat one. Some
And
bad science
boy,
behind that.
my life is minutes shorter.
Oh, I've eaten hundreds in my life. Hundreds.
I tell you what, when we were in Chicago too, Italian beef sandwiches, if you can find that in a stadium, whew, that's a
Big
tough
beef.
one.
Heck yeah.
What's your catch of the year?
Sal Jacobo in foul territory in Savannah, sliding underneath Bryson Bloomer. That's big time up there for me. That's the first one that comes to mind. So I'm gonna say that's my catch of the year for now. I'm sure I know I'm missing a ton, but that's like when I hear catch of the year, that's the first thing that I think of.
Yeah, I think I would go with Ron trapping the ball in center field on a backflip into his gut. I think I would say the same thing, but yeah, if you want to put the Jacobo one up there, I have no argument.
Yeah, that one's amazing, honestly. I would say the one where I can't remember who it was. It was in Cincinnati to end the game,
Oh,
ranging
Marcos
back,
Castillo?
yeah, Marcus Castillo. Amazing, amazing diving catch.
Heck yeah. Great pick. Two of them in the ninth inning. First tailgaters win in a big league park. Epic.
Yeah, insane. What's your favorite special guest that you've
Joe
had?
Buck is probably my all-time favorite, and Tim Kirchin in 2023 is right up there with him. Those two guys are just such legends of the game and our business in the journalism and broadcasting world. So both of them are an absolute delight and pinch yourself moments for me.
Yeah, for me, I don't think anything's going to come close this year to Trevor Hoffman. Just the moment hearing Hell's Bells hit and just we've heard big pops, right? Like when we got Ham Porter in Anaheim, that was a really big initial pop. When we got, trying to think of a couple different ones, like Adam Jones in Baltimore, he got a big initial pop. Trevor
Mhm.
Hoffman was the first time I've heard it in a banana ball game where it was just a sustained roar from the moment his music hit until the end of the game. That crowd did not stop yelling. Um, like nobody sat down the rest of the way through. It was that moment is gonna be etched into my brain for the rest of my life.
Yeah, how loud was it in Angel Stadium when Domingo came out?
That was pretty good. That was a
Good.
pretty good one. Yeah.
Me and
They
Ham
went
Porter had some really good ones. Yeah.
Ham Porter was a way bigger pop than
Yeah.
Domingo, though. Yeah, they went nuts for Ham Porter.
And that was weekend two where they had Troy Gloss back.
Yep.
And I think he was no better than number two in terms of fan eruption because Ham Porter just stole the weekend.
Yeah, Ham Porter was the biggest pop in my memory, and then Troy Gloss, and then Domingo.
And Vico, Jesse probably will not allow you, but can you give us any insight on what the World Tour draft will have to offer?
You are spot on in that I have signed a made up non-disclosure agreement. I'm NDA'd up. No, it's I haven't done that, but I actually literally do not have much information. But anything that I do have and anything that I acquire over the next 3 weeks will all be saved for October 9th on the Banana Ball YouTube channel.
Cities will be involved. That's all we know.
There will be ditties.
What's your favorite booth to announce at?
Oh gosh. PNC Park just because of the view. Unbelievable. The Seattle booth in T-Mobile Park, like as far as just the booth, phenomenal. Multiple tiers. Yvonne, our EP, had a great spot behind us. Josh and I had plenty of room. It's all about girth and length when it comes to broadcast booth tables. And check the box in both regards there. And then PNC is just the best in the biz. That view's insane.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance yet to announce in a major league park, so I'll go sentimental. When we got to play in Salem, that's my hometown, and I grew up going to a bunch of games there. So getting a chance to broadcast in that booth at Salem Memorial Ballpark, that was pretty cool. That was an emotional one for me. Yeah, so I'd say Salem. If I had to pick the ones that we've been in for the ballparks, I think. Trying to remember if Fenway Park was an interesting one because it was so like the announcers are down here and the producers are like way up here. So that was an interesting one. Baltimore had a surprisingly like really big one. I thought Baltimore's would have looked pretty cool to broadcast in, and then Yankee Stadium just because you can say announced at Yankee Stadium.
So Vico, got to pick on you a little bit here, but um, I did some run throughs and uh, it seems that Josh, every time Rack does a rack flip, 83.7% of the time, Josh says rack flip. Now, only a near 21% you say it.
How about take that for data? That's epic. Yeah, I like to sprinkle my calls around. I try and be as unique as possible. So the number you gave me right there, that's probably right around where I want to sit. It's like kind of in the home run call game too. I think just about every amazing signature home run call has been taken at this point in time in human history. So I'm just trying to keep the people on their toes, both with the big calls offensively and defensively as much as
That's
possible.
about all my questions I have. You guys have any questions for me?
Now, Jackson, this has been an absolute pleasure, man. I've actually got to run here for a meeting, so this is perfect timing. But it's always a blast getting to talk with you, and look forward to the next time we can jam on Banana Ball.
Yeah, Jackson's great to meet you, man. I apologize for being late. My dog's a little bit of a diva right now, so she had to go to all these different appointments. So now I got to bring her back and limousine driver. But Jackson's great to meet you, man, and I look forward to having some more of these conversations.
Thank you guys.
Pleasure, Jackson. Have a great
All right.
rest of your day, man.
You too.